How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. We have some exciting stuff to talk about today in Tesla news, Tesla world. New Cybertruck leaks from looks like a past employee that was part of an integral part of the UI interface on the Cybertruck. New leaks on what that's going to look like, potentially moving to the Model S, the X, and then down to the 3 and the Y, which will be fantastic. Maybe this is the V11 they've been talking about for months. Delays on the Model S and the X, up to 7 months. Could they be waiting for the new battery? Who knows? Maybe a redesign. Model 3 and Y as global leaders, global sellers in EV and even sedan world, and then potentially the Model Y taking over that helm. And then also why the Model Y is the best Tesla available. So sit back and relax. You guys are watching The Tall Tesla Guy. So we're going to start right out with the Cybertruck. Now, we've been talking about the Cybertruck for years. I've been talking about it in my videos for months. It's something that Elon's kind of hinted at. He talked about a few years back in the kind of Cybertruck launch. However, we've had nothing to say that it's actually coming, when it's coming, a date it's coming, other than Elon time, which can be months, even though it's promised in days. So, you know, we're actually getting closer and closer and closer. He's actually driven one to Giga Austin. He was test driving it, testing it around. And we actually have an employee who worked specifically on the UI, the user interface for the Cybertruck, that left the company, and he kind of leaked some stuff unofficially, officially, not sure why, how, whatever, but just kind of showing the interface. Now, we saw the screen design when they did the Cybertruck launch, and a lot of people commented on the layout, the spacing, all that kind of stuff. Well, this is actually the first time that it's showing it in the real. It's showing it you know, utilizing the entire screen, which is nice, instead of just half the screen for navigation, half for, you know, a car schematic kind of thing. This is showing the entire screen, which is really nice. It's a lot more interactive, it's a lot more involved, and this is what we're actually thinking might actually kind of merge into the V11 software update that Elon kind of promises as sort of a holiday present last year. Didn't come true, but he put fire emojis on it, said it's going to be fantastic. This might actually be the V11 update that we've been promised, and the way that it looks, I think it'll be great. It's going to be a lot more interactive. It's going to have everything at the touch of a fingertip, right where you need it, right where you want it to be, and it will fill the entire screen, which is really nice too. So if you're not necessarily using the navigation, it's not going to be at your forefront, and if you are using it, it's going to put it in the entire area there. And then on top of that, you can move the car around. It's got some visualizations that are probably going to come into effect with full self-driving. So these are kind of the things that will be available, I think, that can actually happen with this new version 11 update. And I think what we're seeing with the Cybertruck, what we're seeing with these Cybertruck leaks, from this UI developer, is that this is actually what's going to happen. It's everything that we thought all along. It's actually going to come true. One step closer to robo-taxis. We're actually starting to see that a lot more in some of the bigger cities. New York City specifically, a company called Rivian, something like that. They took a bunch of Model Ys that they bought. They changed them into this, branded color blue. But what they did is they actually took out the passenger seat in these cars and gives you more space. So the back person can kind of stretch their legs out. There's an interactive screen in the back to change the radio, the climate, that kind of stuff. And it kind of quarantines the driver from the passengers, for COVID and all that kind of stuff, to keep them safe, keep them away from each other, which is kind of nice. But this is sort of a step in the right direction. It's a step in the direction of these, EV vehicles being ride shared, but not really, but turning into the taxis that all these companies have been promising for years, or promising over the next 10 years or whatever it is. In addition to that, this particular company is actually, all the employees that drive for it, they actually work for them, they have benefits, they have good pay, all that kind of stuff. So instead of being a ride share, sort of balance, it's actually going to be, more of an employee sort of setup. I guess kind of like a traditional taxi cab kind of thing. But it's exciting nonetheless. It's exciting that they're able to do that, and it does kind of segment or segue from the radar, the LiDAR, the camera settings, to where kind of the future could potentially be. And I imagine if it works in New York City, they move it into other areas, and then they'll be that much closer to the robotaxi where we have something driving us around. But jumping into that though, and I'm wondering if this is causing any part of the delays, or if it's specifically on the redesign. If you go on the website and you were so inclined to buy yourself a Model S or a Model X, if that's something that was in your price range, that's what you were looking for, you're going to notice something new. And it's not new as today, but new as of the past couple of weeks. The Model S is out 5 months. You're not going to get it till August, probably September. And then the Model X is even further, talking October, November. you know, when you get something like that, it makes you wonder what they're doing. You know, they did have a shutdown earlier in the year, but I know that, you know, as far as global sales go for Tesla, as far as a portion of the portfolio, the S and X make up such a small amount of it now with the overwhelming success of the 3 and the Y that it kind of leads them or gives them opportunity to shut it down, to retool it, to fix it without impacting their sales too much, since it only represented about 10-15% of it anyway. So is that it? Is that all that they're doing? Just shutting down the plants to retool it, maybe get better alignment, fewer panel gaps, that kind of thing? Or is it specifically about the battery? Elon's been talking about this battery since Battery Day of last year. We've been talking about it and you know, harping on it and getting super excited about it ever since October, and it's supposed to be this 4680 battery that's going to give us 500 plus miles of range. In fact, Elon said that the Model S Plaid Plus, the one that goes, you know, rockets you 0 to 60 in under 1 second, it's going to require this 4680 battery in order to reach those acceleration speeds, in order to reach that 500 plus miles of range to, you know, to compete or to outcompete the Lucid Air. You know, the car that's not even here yet. It's gonna require these batteries to be able to do it. So maybe that's it. You know, maybe they're so much closer to putting it in there. They have it ready to go. They have the structural battery pack in there, that honeycomb structure that Elon was talking about, that makes it even more safe than as safe as it already is right now. Is it the single cast? They have a single cast, you know, Giga Press for the Model 3 and the Model Y that's rolling out in Giga Austin. They also have it in Giga Berlin, probably Giga Shanghai too, I'm sure, and then maybe even the Fremont factory. In fact, that's probably what the Cybertruck is going to be pressed out of. You know, maybe that's it. Maybe they're retooling the Model S and X to be able to have that single cast frame, you know, so they can put that structural battery pack in there. Elon's been talking about it's required for the 4680 anyway, so it could be that. It could be this battery. You know, we could get to, you know, September, October, and not only are you getting a new Model S and X, probably a redesign on the inside and out with a yoke steering wheel and everything that we've seen so far. Maybe they'll do away with the Falcon Wing doors on the Model X that were kind of a nightmare, or maybe even fix them. You know, it could be a fix all the way down to the 3 and the X. You know, the amazing sellers that Tesla has anyway, could they make them even better? Could they make them better than they already are? Who knows? But that's stuff that's coming down the road, probably coming in October, August, September, October. And those are the ranges that you're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 months if you order yourself a Model S and an X now. But we're thinking that maybe just not on Elon time, but on real world time, that's actually going to give you that much better of a vehicle. So that's exciting. It's exciting to think of down the road, even though it's a little scary to wonder what's happening to the vehicles right now. So that jumps in right into the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now, I mentioned that they were #1 sellers. Well, they're #1 sellers last year anyway, representing about 75–80% of the portfolio for Tesla global sales as it was, and they did over 500,000 vehicles sold and delivered, you know, coming into last year. And then coming into this year, you know, they're already on top of where they were at this point last year. Now, granted, there's a little asterisk around that. The Model Y didn't really launch until April, and they did have a plant shutdown, so their production values are going to be a little bit lower, but they were able to make it up throughout the year. And what they're doing now in Q1 is they're starting on this lightning fire heels of everything they had Q4 of last year and just kind of running with it. So the production is going through the roof, they're selling them through the roof, and the Model 3 as the #1 global EV produced vehicle is actually starting to get eclipsed by the Model Y. So will the Model Y take over the 3? I'm not really sure. Probably, more likely than not. A lot of people are excited about the space, myself included. I loved having the extra room. I love having the headroom from the panoramic roof. I love having the storage for our baby and all of her stuff, and then our dog in the very back when he rides with us too. So I'm a big fan of the Model Y for the space and storage, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the other people are as well. So that leads me into Model Y being the best Tesla and probably the best vehicle out there. I've had other videos in there talking about this, how excited I am for it. I'm definitely a Tesla fan. You guys watch my other videos. I have a hard time hiding in my excitement for the vehicle. Sure, it comes with problems. Everything comes with problems. But there hasn't been any problems that we've been able to overcome or move past. And I also had a great experience with my delivery, I had a great experience with the crew there. My service experience has been fantastic, and I haven't had any major issues. Cross my fingers on that one. So, you know, that probably builds over my excitement for it and kind of adds to my emphasis on what I'm talking about here. But I would say the Model Y is definitely the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, if you guys think that, you know, maybe that's off. Maybe the 3 is going to overtake the Y, or maybe, who knows, maybe the S will be the car for everybody. Maybe the 4680 battery will drop the price down with the Giga Press so much that everybody's going to want one of those instead of instead of the SUV thing. But hey, I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I can't thank you enough for the support so far. It's been fantastic. The ride has been fantastic. I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I really hope you guys are enjoying the month so far, having a great week, having a great day, enjoying the weather if you can, and stay safe out there, guys. Thanks for watching.